Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot of PTR news to cover. So I scanned through the PTR update list and I went ahead and stripped away all of the key things you need to know. So none of the walls of text, we're just going to talk about important things, which is the hero updates. So let's go ahead and start with Brigitta, and I wrote it all down. Brigitta's getting a nerf, and some of you guys know about some of these, but here's my reaction. So Brigitta's nerf, her shield is going from 600 health to 500 health. At least it's a nerf, but I'm saying...
No good.
I think we need to go a little bit more with this. You see, Brigitta's shield is at 600 HP normally, which is the same as Winston's entire barrier. But the good news is that she's getting a nerf, but I'd really like to see her shield HP wind up more in the 300 range. I don't think she needs this much of a shield. When was the last time you heard anyone breaking a Brigitta shield? You don't have enough time to shoot at a Brigitta shield. She's already killed you. Next on the list is everybody's favorite Red Cowboy. Well, depending on which skin you have, mine is default. McCree's combat roll was reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds, which is massive. Not only is this going to help McCree keep up with the Hanzos and Doomfists that are roaming around owning everybody, McCree is also going to be able to output more damage overall because whenever McCree rolls, it automatically reloads his gun. Every 6 seconds, for free, you get to reload your gun. This is a phenomenal change. I even said this on another YouTuber's videos, I think about a week ago. I was like, the only change I'd like for McCree is just lower his roll a bit. We're doing it. Next is Farah. This is some of the stuff that starts to get controversial, whether or not it's a buff or a nerf. So we've had a clear buff and a clear nerf. McCree got buffed, Brigitta got nerfed. Farah is interesting. Let's dig into this. Her concussive blast, which is her E ability, the environmental ability, it was reduced from a 12-second cooldown to a 9-second cooldown. So you're getting it a lot faster. So that's buff. There's a buff right there. Also, they increased her fire rate from 0.9 seconds to 0.75 seconds, so she shoots a little bit faster. That's 2 buffs. Her explosion damage, so when she doesn't hit a target directly, when they're just in the blast radius of it, they only take 65 damage instead of 80, so there's a nerf. But then here's another buff. Direct hits are now dealing 55 damage to 40. In Blizzard, they explained it as you're going to be able to deal the same amount of damage as Farah as you were previously, just now you have to be more accurate. So they're raising the skill ceiling a little bit. They also increased her knockback range on her ability. So there's gonna be like a 20 to 25% knockback for some of her stuff. So this is definitely a nerf buff. AKA, this means that the skill ceiling was raised, and I love it when the skill ceiling for a hero is raised. So, now the fact that you have to hit direct shots with Farah, it means that good players are going to thrive, and your not so great players are going to suffer. And they might as well just stop playing Farah at this point. So, something tells me that this has a little bit to do with the consoles on the forums. Whenever you look at the forums and you see a lot of complaints about Farah, it stems from your controller side of the Overwatch community. It must be a lot harder than it seems to hit a Farah in the sky, because this is the type of change that reeks of, okay, if you're gonna have to start hitting more rockets if you want to play Farah. So this looks like something that was really gonna help with console. But at the same time, there's enough of a kind of buff in it to make it justifiable in PC at higher elo, where she even struggles. At the end of the day, Farah doesn't see much play in GM. She's probably not going to keep seeing much play in GM is my guess. Only the one tricks are going to be playing her. I'm okay with this Farah change. In competitive, honestly, I think it's better. I would look at this as a buff, because as someone who is willing to spend time with certain heroes to learn them, this would straight up ended up being a buff. So I think this is a good change. Next, we get to move on to Irisa, the worst tank in the entire game. Irisa's left click was changed. Her little gun that goes and it doesn't hit anything because it's so slow. The max spread of it, so when you're holding it down, you know it just shoots at some kind of random cone of pattern. The spread was reduced, it was tightened, so that's technically a buff. 1.5 to 1.2. That's it. But hey, it's a buff, but it's not really going to affect you in competitive play at all. So now we get to move on to Soldier 76, where basically somewhat of the same thing is happening here. So for Soldier 76, they changed the number of shots before you hit the max spread from 6 to 9. So now you can shoot 9 times before you have hit max inaccuracy as Soldier, which means you can burst fire a lot more shots. This is actually a pretty big buff. So as you see, I'm going to be turning the page because this entire next page is all about Torbjorn. Okay, Guys, I would really have to change the focus manually on the camera so that you could see that, but just trust me, it says Torbjorn, big letters. This whole page is about Torbjorn. Alright, so I know you've already seen all the changes about Torbjorn, such as He has a smaller head hitbox size, and with his left clicks, his projectile speed is increased, his reload time is reduced, and turrets now shoot at the guy you hit with your left click. When it comes to the right click, he has faster fire rate, the damage per shot is slightly lowered, also the reload time is reduced. When it comes to the hammer radius was increased to meet the quick melee distance. The turret is now a throwable level 2 turret. There's a lot of things to go with that, you don't even want to read all of that right now. And also they changed his old ultimate to be an ability now, and it lasts for 5 seconds. It's basically just a short version of the old ability, and his new ultimate is like shooting nacho cheese, but it's molten lava on the ground and it stays there for about 10 seconds, dealing a ton of damage, and if you have armor, it deals even more There's a lot. Basically, I can just throw up clips of what Torbjorn looks like now. A lot of changes with the overall intention of keeping Torbjorn somewhat of the same playstyle, but just more versatile on maps. And so Blizzard even admits in the developer comments, they said, Torbjorn is really designed to be a heavy defense pick. He's kind of, and they kind of admit to it, it's kind of a niche thing to be playing Torbjorn. But they want to make him more versatile. They want him to be more available to players and not just limited to one sort of playstyle. And I think they met this goal. The fact that you can chuck a turret, this is a great change for Torb, and I think going into this next season, I don't know if they're going to release this PTR. Maybe like the last week competitive, they'll release this PTR. I'm very excited to see everything change. And as we saw on Reddit, there are cool things like you can throw the turret and stop a Reinhardt charge, which is so cool. And changes like this are what I love about the Overwatch community. I love seeing huge changes coming through on heroes that really don't see much play and bring them to, honestly, bring them to more maps. Is really our problem. We don't need to bring Torbjorn back into Overwatch because he's played on certain maps, but it's bringing Torbjorn to maps. And it's going to be a lot of cool. And being able to play any hero on any map is what's going to make Overwatch more exciting in the future. So overall, that these changes are good, and I know what you guys are going to say in the comments. Nateson is so biased because he's a DPS main, and most of these changes are DPS picks. Alright, look guys, I don't know why you keep talking like a baby in my video, but these are changes at least specifically talk for the DPS hero, since that's what you're making fun of me about. The DPS heroes are either raising the skill floor, which is good for everybody, or you're bringing in heroes like Torb that really don't even see that much play right now, but bringing them into the game. And with the Soldier change, Soldier doesn't even see any play right now, and this is going to help raise the skill ceiling with him. Not as much raise the skill ceiling, but with the Soldier thing, this is going to help him be pickable in the game, where he is really not right now. And so these are changes that are overall healthy for the game. It is not DPS heroes that Nate plays getting buffed so he automatically likes everything. No. Some of these heroes are unpickable. Giving them the chance to be picked in game is healthy for everyone. So that is the PTR update basically summed up. This is everything you have to know as an Overwatch player, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead and end it now, and I hope you guys all have a charming and fantastic rest of the night. Take care, everybody. See ya.
Alright, here's my special.